Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Parker, and my podcast is over computer hardware advancements. So let's get started. So, computer hardware. One might ask, what is computer hardware? So, I'm going to give you the formal definition of computer hardware. So, the definition is computer hardware is a collection of physical parts of a computer system. So, that's just the main parts that compose a computer itself. So these components include the case, the power supply, the motherboard, the central processing unit, also called the CPU, and the main memory, and the hard disk drive, which most people just kind of shorten up and just say just the hard drive. Now I'm going to go over each of these components and tell you what they do. Hardware components. So the case, all the case really does is just houses all the hardware itself. So you have your CPU at home. It sits in there. It looks kind of like a box, and that just houses all the actual hardware components inside. Then there's the power supply, which is usually like a little box inside the back of the machine that hooks the cord to the outlet that supplies the power. So it supplies electrical power to the computer itself. The next is the motherboard. The motherboard is the body or mainframe of the computer. It is the central circuit board making up a complex electronic system. The central processing unit, also called the CPU, is a machine that executes computer programs and is sometimes referred to as the brain of the computer. So it executes all these programs. And let's see, the next hardware component is the random access memory. This is fast access memory that is cleared when the computer is powered down. RAM attaches directly to the motherboard and is used to store programs that are currently running. Some of these components actually connect to the motherboard itself, so these hardware components run off of each other to complete programs and other tasks. And the last component here is the hard disk drive. A hard disk drive, also known as HDD, is a non-volatile storage device which stores digitally encoded data on rapidly rotating platters with magnetic surfaces. So the hard drive is pretty much what you save everything to. It holds the most space, and nowadays it can really hold a lot of space. So let's move on to the actual advancements in the past few years. So the cases themselves have advanced a lot. So the cases can now offer up to 7 expansion slots due to a significant size increase, and the tower can usually support upwards to 12 bays for CD, DVD, Blu-ray drives, and 9 bays for hard drives. So if you really think about that, that's a lot of space, and you're not even going to use half that space usually, but it offers this much space, and it shows the huge advancement in these cases, where it used to be there's really hardly any expansion whatsoever. It was just maybe a gigabyte when they came out, maybe in the late 90s, early 2000s, when you could actually get a decent sized hard drive. But these expansion bays actually allow you to expand your computers and keep adding to them. The next component here that it has advanced is the power supply. You might say, well, how can a power supply advance? Well, they can, and the power supplies have become more energy efficient while still supplying plenty of power needed for the computer itself. The motherboard, Asus is a good example of this. They make a wonderful claim of being able to permanently unlock up to 37% more performance thanks to Turbo V processing unit, also known as TPU. So these motherboards are also more efficient and considered green as well. So these motherboards can definitely speed up and become more efficient. The next advancement to our hardware advancements is the central processing unit. So Intel makes a really good processor and is currently available in single, dual, and quad core processor, which means that one processor can designate each core to task without losing strength. So they've really advanced in this field. And the next hardware advancement is random access memory, also known as RAM. You hear a lot about RAM, and over the years it is really skyrocketed in the amount of space you can have. So the forms of computer memory are SDR, DDR, DDR2, and DDR3, standing for single data rate and double data rate, respectively. And our last computer hardware advancement is the hard disk drive itself. which also known as HDD. Hard drives come in all sizes, anywhere from nowadays 20 gigabytes to even 6,000 gigabytes, also known as 6 terabytes. There's 1,000 gigabytes and a terabyte. So this size should be decided upon the need of the computer and the task at hand. If you're downloading a lot of stuff and you're holding a lot of files on the computer, you might want more space. But if you're just using this for everyday computer, not downloading or not saving much, then you might not want a huge hard drive. And to conclude here, hardware advancements are constantly changing. They're getting more advanced every day. So computers only several years old are getting outdated. So this is a very fast advance in hardware technology. And there are different hardware in computers suit different people differently. So a gamer might want a certain type of hardware, but an everyday user might want a different, like a lower level type hardware. And people in the business field might want one as well. So that concludes my podcast, and thank you for listening.